Jordan Spieth over the weekend at the Masters, of course, wins the Masters and makes history too, becomes the second youngest ever to do so, and throughout the way just sets record after record after record. And in 2010, Richie Whitt of NBC DFW wrote a story about Jordan Spieth and named him the best sports debut and the best of Dallas. Richie Whitt has seen this coming for years. Richie, thanks for joining us, man, on 104.5 The Team. What was it about Jordan Spieth 5 years ago, and even as far back in 2008, 7 years ago? What was it that you saw in this kid when he was just in his teens?
You know, I'd like to say I discovered Jordan Spieth. I look pretty smart today, but it didn't exactly happen that way. I coached some youth sports here in Dallas, and a parent of one of the kids I was coaching said, "Hey, have you heard about this eighth grader over at Jesuit, which is the high school he went to here in Dallas, very hoity-toity private school?" He said he's in eighth grade, and he's winning high school tournaments with the seniors. And I said, wow, that's pretty impressive. So I dug into it a little bit and went and saw him play. And, I mean, he hit the ball a long way, he hit it straight, but those guys are, dime a dozen, young golf proteges. But then the next thing I know, he's winning the Junior British Open for the United States, and that was 2008, so 7 years ago. So he's been on the map here in Dallas as a kid to watch. And what we knew at the time was he's got a lot of golf talent, but so much more goes into it. I didn't know, and nobody knew, the golf brain he has inside his head, and that was on display this weekend in Augusta just as much as his skill.
There's a vibe about Tiger, and of course you're going to have to draw correlations between the two because, 21-year-olds who win the Master. But there's that vibe about Tiger that his dad kind of forced him to love golf. It looks like Jordan just absolutely loves the game of golf all on his own.
Yeah, he comes from a privileged background, and he could have chosen any sport he wanted to, but he just loved golf, and he loved it makes too much sense that when he was 11 years old, he was, of course, watching Tiger Woods win the Masters, and that inspired him to play golf. So the symmetry is beautiful for us dorky sports writers. But, yeah, he's just he can grind out a par just as easily as he can, two-putt for birdie on a par 5. And I think Nick Faldo said it really well yesterday during the telecast. He said, Jordan Spieth is not intimidating, but the way he plays certainly is demoralizing. I mean, he just doesn't have a double bogey. He doesn't have a triple bogey. He doesn't hit it in the water. He doesn't, shank an approach shot. He makes mistakes here and there, but he's just like he's like a robot. I mean, it's down the middle. It's the middle of the green, and he's a great chipper. He's a very good putter. And, he was so good yesterday that his only competition was the ghost of Tiger Woods' 21-year-old self, and that's something I didn't think we'd ever see again in our lifetime.
Richie Whitt in Dallas with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team. Richie on Twitter at Richie Whitt and of BlueStarBlog.com. And Richie, last year we actually spoke to you about Jordan Spieth 1 year ago because he was in the Masters till the final day and eventually lost. And was there ever a moment in your mind this year as you watched him on day 1, day 2, just shattering the record books? Was there ever a thought in your mind, he could lose this thing, or did you have confidence throughout that he would be wearing the green jacket on Sunday?
You always worry about the back nine on Sunday because it is the most exciting and the most nerve-wracking 9 holes in all of golf, especially when you have a lead. But he was so in control, and you had big guns behind him. He Tiger, you had Rory, you had Phil, and they were all within shouting distance, but none of them made the run that even got it within 2 strokes. I think Justin Rose got within 3 a couple times, but the way he was playing and the focus that he had. It just no. I mean, I never felt like, he's about to lose this. I was more worried. Not worried. I was more concerned when he turned 9. Can he get the scoring record? Can he take this to 20 under? And that's incredible. I mean, we knew this kid had a lot of golf talent, but the way he can learn Augusta. I mean, it takes players 10 times to play that course before they get the feel of it, and he's mastered it in the second time there.
I guess the only question left is how long ago and where exactly did he lose his hair?
You know what? That's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Armen's hairline at 21 years old.
That's fair. That's fair.
I thought, is that a Texas thing? Like being an upstate New Yorker? I don't know. Is that is that the style?
You know what I really think, and this is totally unfounded and not researched, I think it's just because he wears a hat, obviously, every day when he plays golf. And you see, guys, in between shots, when he's talking to his caddy, when he's just kind of waiting for his playing partner to hit, he takes his hat off and just scratches his head and rubs the top of his head. That wear and tear has turned him follically challenged, and he's going to be bald by the time he wins a couple of majors, which I think that's not a bad trade-off.
Richie Whitt in Dallas of BlueStarBlog.com, at Richie Whitt on Twitter. Richie, good stuff, man. Always good talking to you, my
All right,
brother.
man. Love you guys. Talk soon.